I swear to God, I'm throwing all this shit right in the garbage.
It's my hobby, Janice. Why you gotta belittle it?
Hello and welcome back to Not a Watch Snob. I am your host, Bill, and I'm not a watch snob. Today we have a very special episode. We have a State of the Collection episode. Now, I am doing my State of the Collection episode in pairs with one to watch. You should definitely check out his channel if you haven't. There'll be a link in the description as well as at the end of the video. Now, I'm not going to bore you with going through every single watch that I own in great detail because, well, that would bore the shit out of me. However, I'm going to pick out a couple of few, talk about the stories I have with each one of them, and I think it's going to be a very fun episode, so stay tuned. One of the great things about my collection is the fact that I have everything from a Timex to a Rolex. I think that having a well-versed collection can really broaden your mind to new brands. For example, my Zodiac Grand Rally. I wouldn't have found that brand had I not tried it. Some people can be very picky and snobby, like, oh, I only want a watch that's $300 or less. Well, I mean, you're not going to broaden your horizon that way. That's reverse snobbery. And then there are some people who say, I can't have a watch if it's less than $1,000. And that's just plain snobbery. So within your means, I think it's good to have a broad display of watches. That way you can open your mind to new brands. And don't be afraid to try them, because I wouldn't have found half of these brands if I just didn't say, fuck it. The first watch we're going to be talking about in my collection is my Timex Expedition. Now, the reason why we are starting off with this watch is because, well, the memories it gave me. Growing up, my father had a really tough childhood. All of the things he wanted to do, his parents were never around to do it with him. So, he forced all of his hobbies and passions and all the things he missed when he was a kid onto me. One of those things was Boy Scouts. I hated the idea of being a Boy Scout. However, over time, I learned to love and enjoy every second of it. And this was the watch that I wore on every one of my adventures, whether I was whitewater rafting or I was at a national jamboree. I loved every second of wearing this watch. And I have a lot of great memories of me and my dad building tents and doing the goofy Boy Scout sort of routine. So it holds a lot of memory and value in my mind, and I just happen to love Timex as a brand. The next watch I'm going to talk about is my Hamilton Ventura. Ever since I was a little kid, I have been a huge Elvis fan. Everything from going to reenactors of Elvis, I had one of Elvis's scarves, all the movies, all the shows, all of his TV appearances. I bought all the records, all the CDs. I knew almost every song. I was an Elvis fanatic, and something about his, beautiful voice really got to me when I was a little kid, and it's what inspired me to want to make music. Now, it's a little known fact about me. I actually make music called Timex. It's like Jimmy Buffett got hit in the face with 2020. It's like this new age sort of beach music, but I digress. But the reason why I got the Hamilton Ventura is a nod to my interest, a nod to my love of music as well as my love of watches. And I think it's such a fashionable watch. It's got that retro 50s, 60s feel to it, and it just is a gorgeous, gorgeous timepiece. When I was younger, I was actually in the talent show, and I did an entire Elvis routine. I had backup dancers and everything. And I don't know what it was about Elvis. I did all my projects on him in like 4th or 5th grade. Just everything about the music and the style of the 50s really fascinated me, and I just loved every little second of it. So when I got this watch, it was actually on my list for the longest time, and I finally broke down and bought one, very used, very vintage, and I fell in love with the style. I just think it is this nod to the 50s and this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful era of design and Art Deco, and I just think that I really love this piece. So it just brings me back to my young days of listening to 50s music and jamming out with my parents. The next watch I want to talk about is my Rolex Datejust. I got this watch at an estate sale for $2,000, and I, at first, truthfully thought it was fake. I mean, I didn't know how to go and get it tested. I didn't know how to, figure out if it was real. And I went to a Rolex outlet, and I felt the Rolex was there, and I just thought, this watch must be fake. However, upon further inspection, as well as sending it off to Rolex, thank you for taking my money, you sons of bitches, I realized that this watch was real, and it has become one of my top watches. Growing up, when I first got into watches, me and my dad would always talk about how our dream was to buy a Rolex. Now, we used to go to the islands when we were younger and grab fake Rolexes and flaunt them off as if we were these bigwigs, and I just remember spending so many times just, one day I know I'm gonna get a Rolex, one day, just hyping myself up. And I'll be honest with you, it has so many memories, this watch. When I first got it, I was telling kids at school that I had it on, and they all threatened to steal it from me, so I was actually a giant pussy when I was younger, so I never wore it again after that. It sat in my closet for the longest time until eventually I got older and started to really appreciate it. And I remember, wearing it on vacations, going on cruises. I love cruising. I don't know if you know this, but most of my memories are of vacations with my family. So this watch just holds a lot of memories, and it's from the 70s. So God knows how many memories it already had before me. I love this watch. The next watch I would like to talk about is my Breitling Avenger Seawolf. I love this watch, and the reason why I love this watch is it has a sentimental value to me because it reminds me of my very first Breitling that I sold to propose to my girlfriend. Or my fiance, whatever you like to call it. This watch to me just represents my obtainability. I mean, I never thought in a million years that I would own a Breitling. And one day the opportunity just presented itself, and it was my most prized possession, but I sold it for a more just cause in my mind, and I've been really happy ever since. So when I actually had another opportunity to purchase a Breitling, I felt floored. I felt overjoyed that I was going to be able to have another one of these watches in my collection. I just love everything about Breitling, from its ruggedness to its history to, you could just spot them from a mile away. Look at these faces, look at the dials, look at the bezels. Everything about this watch is just this tough, no-nonsense, rugged watch. And I honestly feel, I know this isn't the point of watch collecting, but I feel luxurious while wearing my Breitling. I absolutely love this watch. I think the fact that I sold off a watch to propose to my girlfriend just shows how men will do anything to basically have a girl. Men, that's kind of what it comes down to. I'll do anything. I'm desperate. Including selling off my most prized possessions. Kind of funny how that works. But honestly, cliche included, I'm the happiest I've ever been. So I've got my watch and I've got my girl. So best of both worlds. The next watch on this list is really just a memory. It is a $5 watch, but the story behind it to me means more than any brand name could. And it might be one of my favorite watches in this collection, and that is my Turner. I met this guy named Joe on a cruise, and the reason why this watch means so much to me is because I actually introduced him to his wife. He was a 50-something-year-old virgin, and he was saving himself for marriage. He was religious, and I actually found a lady on that ship who was the exact opposite of Joe. Well, they hit it off, and about a year later got married. Joe was always hearing me and my dad talk about watches, so he went up to the gift shop and purchased this watch. He was so grateful for what I had done for him that he sent me this watch a year later. Signed, Joe's watch, the Carnival Liberty, 2011. It's probably the best watch in my entire collection, and I love it. The last watch I would like to talk about in this collection is my Era Hyperion. Now, this is just a gorgeous watch. I purchased it because I wanted to celebrate a milestone in my life. The milestone I was celebrating was receiving bariatric surgery, a life-changing procedure that I am forever grateful for. I purchased this watch because it had been on my list for a long time, and I figured, there's no time like the present, and nothing is unobtainable. And just like the watch's space theme, nothing is impossible. I really love this watch because of its unique personality. I think I have a very unique personality, so me and the watch kind of pair well together. The beauty of this watch is that it has this wandering hour mixed with tourbillon, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful watch. Now, I think purchasing a watch to celebrate a milestone is a great, great thing to do because you'll forever attribute your accomplishments with timepieces, and it just makes the memories and the collecting aspect that much more valuable. To this day, I'm excited to announce that I have lost around 70 pounds. Since the start of making these videos to about now, I went from 320 to 249. So I'm extremely excited, and I feel a lot more healthy. Things have gotten better. Sex has gotten better. Just everything has gotten so much easier in my life. The stress of being overweight is something I've struggled with since college. Drinking days, Coke days, bad days, good days. I always used eating as a stress reliever. And I think that now I am learning these new habits, and to celebrate these new habits, I purchased this watch. Some honorable mentions within this collection is my Invictas. Again, it's attributed to me and my dad on cruise ships, and just our love of watches brought us together and binds us together, and it was a way for me and my dad to bond. And I just think that was an amazing part of growing up, was having someone on my side and having someone who's interested in the same things as I am. I just love the fact that I love him. That's what it comes down to. I love the guy. Thank you guys for checking out my watch collection today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you got in your collection. Let me know if there's anything up here that you personally might like for your collection. Go ahead, write to me in the comments. I'd really appreciate it. If you're enjoying these videos, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment in the section. I'd really appreciate it as well. I love hearing from you guys. I always try to respond to everybody who comments. I love hearing from you, and you enjoy your Christmases. I hope the holidays really make you happy and you enjoy them. So if I don't see you before then, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. This is the state of my collection, and remember, I'm not a watch snob, and neither are you. Thank you very much. Enjoy your night.